everyone. I'm here with Ian, calligrapher, hand letter artist, and type designer. How you doing, Ian?
I'm very good, thank you. Thank you, Juna, for having me
Yeah,
on your YouTube channel. It's really,
it's great.
really excited to,
I'm excited to
chat
see
and
you too.
share.
Yeah, we've been chatting on Twitter X, I guess, too. And, I love your work. I love your posts. So I had to contact you and say I saw your work and I wanted to have my followers see what you can do and then maybe help us learn what you can do and do the same. That's kind of the purpose of this video. You're going to show us kind of cool hand lettering and things that I think would be really cool on t-shirts, and you're going to kind of give us a tutorial.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It's going to hopefully lead you through producing something that you could put on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
And hopefully it'd be simple enough for everyone to sort of follow along. So yeah.
Cool. Before we start, I wanted to let people know a little bit about who you are. And so I'm going to read a little bio before we start. Ian is a calligrapher, hand lettering artist, and type designer living in the UK. He has done work for brands like Apple, Adobe, Speedo, Unilever, Tearfund, and the Salvation Army. He is also passionate about inspiring, entertaining, and helping people improve their lettering skills through videos on his Instagram and YouTube channels, and creating and selling digital products like fonts and brushes. Ian, thanks for being on my channel.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for reading my bio out.
Yeah, of course. I think it's really cool that you've done so much. And like I said, I just love your posts on Instagram and stuff. And I think the reason why I wanted you to show us this is I think this is a great way to stand out with t-shirt design, because that's what I do is t-shirt design, and other people, my followers, do t-shirt design. And I think if you're hand lettering and you're doing something very unique, of course it's going to stand out because it's your own thing that you're doing yourself. So before we do the tutorial, I got just a couple of questions for you, just to get to know you just a little bit better. So the first question is, how did you get started with hand lettering, and what's kind of your origin story?
So I'm originally a graphic designer. That's something that I after school went into and got a job doing, and I did that for about 14 years, and then so about 10 years ago I wanted to learn a new hobby, so I chose calligraphy. I just thought it's got some letters in it, and I use letters
That's true.
in fonts and stuff like that. I thought it was some, sort of link into what I was doing.
Yeah.
But that was not why I chose. Main reason I just chose it. I wanted a hobby because my second child had just been born, and my wife was watching a program called Downton Abbey, which is like a British, drama, and I wasn't really that interested. So I'm gonna get off the screen. I was on the screen all the time. I'm gonna chose calligraphy as a hobby, and I got like a dummies guide to calligraphy, and just fell in love with it, and got really obsessed. Practiced every day.
There you go.
But the thing is, you make such small progress every day that you have to catalog that, and that's the reason why I started to use Instagram, was to catalog my progress.
Oh, smart.
Showing people, just showing my practice really. And but part of that, I'd show videos of me writing, and as we now know, people love seeing the process of whether you're doing woodwork or whether you're just cleaning a car, detailing a car, they love seeing the process. So I just kept on doing that. And, after about 18 months, I started to get work inquiries. This was specifically more for sort of hand lettering, the little bit of sort of traditional calligraphy work. And so alongside that, I started to dip my toe into the world of digital products. I've never done print on demand. I've done a little bit of print on demand, but a lot of my, I know that's your main business and a lot of the followers' businesses, but mine was like down the road of digital products. And producing like first sort of Photoshop textures packs. And then I went on to sort of making typefaces. And then what I sort of consistently do now is brush packs for programs like Procreate or Affinity Designer. So yeah, so that's and this going into this sort of niche of lettering or calligraphy opened my world to everything typed, typography, lettering, everything that's around that. So, I've just past 10 years sort of been experimenting with type in different forms, whether it's like painting it, like my skateboard's behind me. Oh, I can't point in the right direction, or
Yeah.
murals, or but a lot of it is on the iPad, which I'll show today, and just creating custom lettering, really. And the thing about that is that you can give it your own personality, which sometimes maybe just using typefaces is hard to, or you can get some typefaces and you can then customize them. When you want it to do certain things, being able to draw letters or change letters is a really good skill to have, especially as a t-shirt designer.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. Thanks for that. And
That's
yeah,
all right.
I love all your stuff, because those are the things that we use. The things
Mm.
you're making is stuff that we need. We need brushes, we need fonts, we need all those things to help us. And especially what you're going to show us today, learning about how to create our own. That's pretty cool. So, what I like about the stuff that I've seen on your stuff too, it kind of relates to my second question, is that you said you made some things that can help us. And tell us about some of the tools that you have to help us with lettering, some of the tools that you've made that help
Yeah.
us with
So
lettering.
me and a fellow lettering artist called Stefan Coons,
Oh, yeah.
we were chatting one day about. Oh no, we asked our audience what their frustrations were with lettering,
Hmm.
and one of the ones was making like custom layouts for like a quote or a
Hmm.
saying.
Hmm.
Um, they found that hard to sort of compose stuff. And so one of the ones we came up with was one called Grid Builder, which is a series of like 35 different grids, different shapes of like curves and like flag-like ones, and lots of different ones that you can then just sort of tap on the screen and quickly create custom layouts.
Cool.
And that just helps with the sort of making it less sort of you're just chucking
Hmm.
words at a page.
Hmm.
You're actually giving it some structure,
Yeah.
and balance and stuff like that, which even though it may not look like, and some of my work it does it might not look it's structured or balanced, but having some form of grid there just helps you to be more helps you not to have to think about where you're going to put stuff. You can just get on with designing. So that's one of them, which
Okay.
helped the problem with layouts. And then there was another product called Letter Builder, which it helps relieve another problem, which is consistency of letter forms. So
Mm-hmm.
drawing letters can be actually quite hard, and
Mm-hmm.
something that really helps with making words look good is making all the letters look like
The
whether they're
same.
the same weight or the
Right.
same thickness, the same height,
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. And so this is another sort of series of it's a brush, which is a series of grids, and it enables you to draw every letter of the sort of block letter alphabet in
Oh,
capitals, so that you can sort of you put out the grids of like 5-letter words, and then you can create that word, and then you've got the structure there of the basic word, and then on top of that you can then start giving it certain effects or colors and adding your own sort of spin to it. But this just helps sort of quickly get to the point where you've written out the letters and you're sort of ready to go. um
cool.
yeah, so that's two of the products, two of the
Okay.
main products that really help people with their lettering, and sometimes that helps people to sort of sometimes you can start a new thing like hand lettering. It can be quite daunting, so
Mm-hmm.
um giving people tools to make it a little bit easier
Mm-hmm.
to get into it or to construct stuff can
Okay.
really help people. So, and it's something I'll be using in the tutorial today. So
Oh, nice. Perfect. Okay, that's a great segue then to what we're going to show next. So the next thing I kind of wanted to show is you using it then. So now that we talked about it, we know your story and how you got here, which is really cool, by the way, because I love that it was started off with kind of just a thing you wanted to learn, and over time it just became something that you became a master in, doing it over what, 10 years now? Is that what I
Yeah, I
heard?
think it's
Wow,
yeah,
amazing.
10, 11 years. I think the first year was quite I can't remember much, but I know I did a
Yeah.
lot of practice.
Yeah, and that's it. Practice, 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 right? And then you
Yeah,
just got better and better and better, and now here you
yeah,
are
and
today.
just to help people like who say like their handwriting's really bad,
Uh-huh.
how good their lettering. My handwriting's still really bad. Click free hasn't helped my handwriting. Handwriting's a whole new skill, being able to
Okay.
write consistently over pages and pages of a journal or something like
Yeah.
that. So I can write like a word really nicely or a few words, but I
Yeah.
can't. It would take me ages to write like a page of
Right.
words,
Right. That makes
because
sense. It's different.
so
It's a
yeah,
different
it's
skill.
different. So
Yeah.
some people have some beautiful handwriting. I'm not one
Hmm.
of them, and
Yeah.
I started learning calligraphy when I was 35. So I've got like 35 years of bad handwriting to undo.
Handwriting.
So
That makes sense.
yeah,
So don't be discouraged if you have bad handwriting. You can still learn this stuff. Is what you're
yeah,
saying,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
definitely.
You can still do it. You can still do it. All right. Cool. So let me
Okay.
see. Are you ready to share? I'm gonna
Yeah,
share your
yeah,
stuff.
sure. Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. I'll put us to the side here, and and
Okay.
we're working on something. You kind of wanted me to share, like, what should we be working on? I was thinking back to school, since that's coming up in August. So here's kind of a back to school idea, right?
Yeah. So you came up with saying of oh hey, fourth grade.
Oh, hey, fourth
Um,
grade, yeah, for teachers,
is that as
maybe.
long as I got it right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So this is a sketch which I've brought in. So I always do my sketches by hand,
Just on
um,
paper, just
just
pencil
on some
paper.
paper. So
Okay.
yeah, like say here's the original one that I
Oh
scanned in. I
wow. Oh
just
wait,
do
let me zoom in.
so
Oh,
yeah.
it's
I
kind of
just
small too. It's not very big.
I know,
Yeah.
and I normally just um start just write it out really
Yeah.
basic, and then I
I
think I had
like
an
that.
idea quite soon. So
Yeah.
it doesn't often happen, but
Yeah, that's really
it's
cool. Okay.
usually I always start with paper and pen, because otherwise I get distracted with all the
Everything.
notifications
Yeah.
for
There's
everything
just
that's
yeah.
and
That makes
and
sense.
yeah. So I brought it into an app called Procreate. I don't know if anyone,
Procreate.
if you've
Okay.
got an app, most chances are that you have this app, because it's one of the best on there. I
Yeah.
I flip
I have it.
between this Procreate or Affinity Designer. I did a lot of work with Affinity Designer, and they're a really good app. And it also does vector work in Affinity Designer, which is, I know,
Yeah.
sometimes really useful for sort of certain t-shirt printing.
That's so
So
cool. I didn't
uh,
ask you, but those are the two I have too. So that works out.
yeah. So
I use both of those.
so I do a lot on the iPad. So, and it's great
Nice.
having some really good apps like that.
Uh-huh.
So the first thing I do, other than take the photo of the, sorry, I'm keep looking down because that's where
No, no, you're
where my
fine.
iPad is. So
Yes,
um,
you got to do that.
the the first thing I do is bring the sketch into whatever app I'm using at the time, and
Okay.
reduce the opacity so I can just have
Hmm.
something really um, rough to follow.
Hmm. Okay.
Um, and then the next thing I do is um, let me just turn
Oh,
off.
this is your grid thing that you talked about. The
Yeah,
grid
so I then just like I either just draw a cross, because I like to make sure things are like
centered.
centered
Smart.
when
Okay.
I think, and then I start uh roughly getting I use Grid Builder first. So I will
Oh, nice.
find one that's sort of similar to the sort of shapes I've been using.
Okay.
um
So many
uh
shapes. That's nice.
yeah, so there are just loads of different things that
Yeah.
it might be the case that you want it to, rather than just curve around, you might want it to have certain letters bigger at the other end. So I might
Hmm.
use I got one there like bow tie, so I oh, need a new layer. uh, I'd put that down,
I see.
and put it there, and then I can put the letters in there following those sort of guidelines.
Wow. Nice.
But for this one, I'm using this sort of curve one. I'm sort of following, and it doesn't have to be. I'm not lining up perfectly because my drawings are nowhere near perfect. So it's just okay. Roughly, I'm going to put one there, and then I can move it around when I do it. But it's just to get the structure so that it's like I'll make sure that my G one side is not going to be massively different from the E on the other side.
Correct. Yeah.
Because like the thing is, people notice these things, but they don't notice what's wrong. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, it's not quite right. I don't know why.
Yeah, and the grids kind of help you keep it straight and aligned and everything. So yeah, I like that.
So like for the word fourth, I'm just using one that's sort of, oh no, for the word fourth, it's just. I'll show in a minute. I'm going to make it so the letters go sort of up, down, sort of roughly. But for the letters, before I do that, I make if I'm going to do, I do stuff to the letters, I change them, but sometimes I draw out the letters quite plainly before then I try and edit them. So
makes sense.
So for that one, I'm not going to use a grid. I'm just going to use the grid builder. I'm going to just use letter builder because I just want the letters. Which then I'm going to move around. So I'd create a new layer, choose a different color. We have a different color for the letter builder grids rather than the grid builder grids.
Oh, makes sense.
And I think for this one, it looks like more of like a condensed font. So I then just draw out how many letters? Oh, I forgot. 1, 2, 3, 6 letters.
4, 6, yes. So 3 and 3, and 3 on one side, 3 on the other side. Yeah.
Yeah. So and then I draw out how many grids I want, and then I can just tap which you won't be able to see in the video, but tap the finger on the screen, and it makes it straight, and then I can adjust the spacing.
Okay.
So
nice.
So give it a bit of spacing, and then I can.
Then you center it.
Select transform, and I can just move that around, and I can
put it up. Okay, I can see how it's building out now.
And then just got one for the word hey, which is going to be in script, and it's just going to go up at a slight angle, and that just helps me to have the letters resting, have some baselines for them to rest on, and then the word O at the top. I'm just going to put in some.
The letter builder again.
Yeah, letter builder again. Just a couple of them, which I'll add, and then I'll rotate and stuff like that. So so I'm just going to turn those off. So I won't go. It's not, it's quite simple, really. Just add the letters.
Yep. Depending on how you want it. Yeah.
Yeah, and the one at the bottom, I've adjusted it to fit the actual curve. I love it if the letter builder grids could automatically fit into the grid builder ones, but the technology is not there. So
upgrade in the future.
Upgrade in the future once that arrives. So what I would do is I would draw out. I've got 5 letters there.
Yeah.
So I would draw out them and then make it roughly the same size as that grid. And then I just go to the warp tool and the advanced mesh, and then I can just move these nodes around.
Okay.
And get my grid.
Just a few more steps, but it still works.
Yeah. So get my grid roughly squeezed into there. I'm doing this quickly.
Yeah. No, we get. I think we get it. That's really cool.
There you go. So you can just quickly.
So you can have both. You have the.
Yeah. So you can't. Sorry, let me turn the sketch off. So it's sort of roughly. I haven't done it right there, but you can roughly get it inside the grids, and then you can draw, which we'll do in a minute. So I'm just gonna.
Very cool.
Get the one back there.
So it takes some time to set it up, but then now that you have it set up, you can make sure that everything's in the right place and everything. That's cool.
Yeah, and as you can see, it's not looking particularly inspirational, but hopefully it will look like a better version of the sketch. So, but I'll show you how that goes as we go. So,
okay.
Let me just get rid of those other ones. So just new layer, and then I'm just going to select black. A lot of this is going to be black, but I'm going to apply certain colors to it, or certain effects, so it's not all black. So I've got this is another set of brushes that I produced called Freestyler, which is just a series of brushes that give, like, each brush or each few brushes give a certain style.
Yeah.
So if you're wanting to do one where you've got lots of different styles on a page, then this works really well for that, because we've got ones that's like this one up here called Slipstream 3D, which is like a 3D brush. So
yeah,
you
it's
can
really cool.
you can draw and it becomes 3D straight away.
That's really
And then
cool.
you've got some sort of rough ones.
Yeah,
Some outline
I like
ones.
that.
So the one that I love the best is one called Rock and Roller, because what it
Rock and
produces
roller.
is a sort of hard edge
Yes.
it's like a monoline, but it has harder edges on the outside.
Like that.
Because a lot of the letters I draw are just sort of block lettering, which normally has a hard end rather than a round end, which monoline's a bit more like.
Yes.
So so for this, I just start off by one, just trying to I just start drawing, just seeing if it's the right thickness
Yeah.
for the letters I'm producing. So as you can see, I'm just using.
You're just using your pen, right?
Yeah.
And then drawing
So
within it. Wow.
yeah,
You
and
got a really steady hand. That's nice.
I think the technology helps.
Yeah.
So I'm just using
Wow.
within
That
that
turned out
grid.
really good, just like that.
Yeah,
Grid really
so
helps,
it
huh?
just
Yeah.
it just helps you to guide you where it is. So it's there. If I turn this off, that's there's a lot of lines in here. And you're like, well,
Yeah.
and in part of the thing, there's a PDF that shows you how to draw each letter. But
That's really
let's
cool.
draw. Maybe we need to draw Y. We can just, that's there.
Like that.
Or
Look at that.
if you wanted to draw an R, we've got the straight there, and they got the curve there, and then the leg of it. You suddenly see all those letters within it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It's all there. That's really cool.
You have to tweak it. I didn't want to compromise on the W and the M because they can be a bit trying to fit them in a social. So for them, for an M, you draw one side of it.
Oh, I see. And then you connect the other side.
You just duplicate it.
Oh, that works out. It's a kind of a double. Same with the W.
Same with the W. You draw a V and duplicate it. I didn't want to, like, the thing is, I didn't want to try and squeeze it. Some of the grids do actually have a bit wider, and so that you can fit an M in it. But I didn't want to compromise on legibility.
Yeah,
and making people try and fit something that's not supposed to fit in it, because it looks a bit weird.
It would look weird at M that's that thin. So no, this looks good. Wow.
So that's just a little intro on how to draw those letters. So this first one I thought of, might not show on the sketch very well, but having I had a look, because I think it's in the UK, I think 4th grade is a different year, and I think it's so it's what year my son is currently in. Which is in the UK is year 6, but he's finishing one school and going off to the other school. I don't know what they're called in America, but it's like finishing at primary school and going off to secondary school. So I had a look at what things they need in this year, and it sort of brought up stuff like pencils, pens, but also like index cards, I think now. So I thought we can make these O and the H into 2 different index cards and overlap them.
Very cool. You did your research.
So I'm just gonna cut and paste the H out of it being with the O, so I can have it independently.
Separate.
And then actually what I'm going to do is, just so it's less distracting, just take off that letter builder grid. And then what I'm going to do is create a new layer, and then I'm going to get Sloppy J Mono, which is just a mono, slightly textured. You can't really see the texture there, but if I zoom in,
I like it.
Gives you a bit of texture, maybe make it a little bit thicker. And what I'm going to do is just draw. That's a bit big.
Nice.
Draw a rectangle, which is not a very good rectangle. Let me try that again. See, my letters are better than my shapes.
That's
so
fine.
I might have to really edit that because it's a bit shocking.
Oh, I like it. Nice.
I turn off the H.
Yeah.
And then,
I like that you can do this in Procreate. So if you mess up, you can do it again and do it again instead of like if you did it on paper and pencil, you'd have to keep erasing.
Yeah, that's it. One shot, start again. So I'm going to color this white. So what I'm going to do is tap on the layer that the square is on, but I don't want to fill the actual square because then I always like to have a different layer for different things, especially if it's different color. Yeah. So I click on reference. So I'm going to go through some of these things. Some people don't actually know about the reference thing, which means that any layer I now fill on, so change over to white. So now if I'm on the layer below the one I've called reference, and so I can now drag a color onto there, only fill in that box, referencing the layer above, which is really good.
That is cool.
But then you have to remember to turn it off, otherwise you wonder why things are not going right. And then I'm going to create a new layer above that and get a light blue, reduce the opacity, and just make some
lines. Okay.
Just faint lines.
Yeah, like a paper.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And then I'll just make, like my daughter's been doing, they have exams next year, but this year they have things called mocks, which are like mock exams. They're not like, they don't go to your final grade, but you do the exams and you get a mark for it, so you can go through the process of it and learn. So you're not like suddenly stressed out by the fact that you've got to do exams. You've already done similar ones.
Practice.
Yeah, so she had some index cards, but she like put a hole in the top and like put a key ring in the top, so she had all these index cards. So
nice. So you can flip it over.
Yeah, so I thought we just put a little circle in there. So so nice. And then what we can do is I can just group those, and then I can just duplicate those, because then I can just move it over to one side.
For the H. Nice.
The H. There's no point working twice as hard. If you really want to, you could. I could just make it a little bit different by just maybe
tweaking
the lines a bit so it doesn't perfectly line up. Let's move this H.
There we go. Oh, very cool.
So, and now I will group two letters with the index card, and then let's zoom out a bit. Then I will
tilt it,
rotate them both slightly. Actually, I might put these.
Which is what you had in your original drawing, right? You kind of had them tilted.
Not to burst the bubble, but I've been through this before. Like, design this particular one. So rather than just like, it looks like I'm just coming up with ideas, just like that. I've been through it before, so I knew what I was talking about when I came on. But I would normally sort of keep referencing what I've done in the drawing, and I change my mind all the time when I'm going through things.
Why not?
Because I probably won't include that because it looks more like a toolbox than
it's supposed to be a lunchbox.
Yeah. But it doesn't really work. Illustration's not my strongest ability.
There you go. Oh, nice.
So
very cool. And then you center it.
Yeah, I'll turn off that again. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a shadow, which is going to overlay both the backgrounds. So what I do is, so with the O, I'm going to duplicate that, and then the lower version of it, I tap on it, flatten it, And then I just go to hue, saturation, brightness, and just turn all the way down. So I now have a black layer, which I can then reduce the opacity and then move it down to the right.
Very cool.
That gives me
shadow.
that. Yeah. And then I'll probably do the same with the H.
Okay.
Turning the brightness down to give me a black one, and then reducing opacity and just.
Very cool. I like it. I think just that already is a cool design.
Yeah, you could just have that. You could have like 2 letters. There's a few words, okay,
yeah.
hi. So yeah, that's the first part. Each part has its, especially with the sort of designs I do, each sort of word has its own sort of personality.
Yeah.
So
I love the hand-drawn look of it too. You can tell that it's not.
Yeah. I really like that because I'm quite messy anyway. So being able to just to be messy in my work is great. It's not, everything doesn't have to be perfect.
Yeah. That's a good point.
So the next word we're going to do is hey.
Hey.
And we're going to use
you're going to draw script font or
with the 3D brush.
Oh right. Okay, this is cool. This is one I wanted to see anyway.
So script brush, 3D brush. So I've set it up so it looks 3D straight off the bat, so you don't have to do. We'll do some 3D lettering with the word grade, like manually, but this sort of gives you 3D lettering straight off the bat, and it's perfect sort of the script style. You want, let me just check got the right size. That'll be right.
I love that you're showing us different styles too in this one.
Yeah, so you could do the whole thing in one style if you wanted to.
Yeah,
I just like sort of combining them.
Yeah, mix it up.
A little bit of simplistic illustration. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a great illustrator, but everyone can draw a square.
Yeah,
and make it into
and if you're not, I think you can do the letters on your own so that it stands out, but maybe get some clip art and clip art.
And you might be really good at illustration, not very good at lettering. So you can use the letter builder grids to help you to draw your own letters rather than always having to rely on fonts. If there's a certain font, I've done them just straight as those letters, but then I could, if I wanted to, I might want to make them look slightly different. With the H, you might want to add it so it's like a slab serif, which has like chunky feet and chunky feet.
Yeah, I think that. You could add the feet. Yeah. No, that's cool. I like that.
So straight away that's sort of transformed.
That is pretty cool. I like that.
Well, we could leave it like that way if we wanted, because the O doesn't have any end terminals. So,
but I like that because that kind of feels like a more classic school font.
Yeah.
The kind of athletic looking school font. So really cool.
And that transforms it just by adding some more blocks to it. So the letter builder just gives you the base letters that you can then try upon. So there we so let's do this script font. So I'm going to turn off the crosshair that we got in the middle there, just so you can see it a bit better. Normally I keep all these things on normally until I start to finesse stuff. Let me get it back.
Okay.
So yeah, the word hey. So I don't normally I normally draw it out and.
Wow. That's pretty good. That's pretty good already.
I look at it and go, "Is that look alright?" I don't know. Is it too
so big? You're using the lines to let you know how high up and down you can go for the letters. Okay.
Yeah. So as you can see, it's sort of roughly the height of the E and the top of the Y and the midsection of the H, just so it keeps that consistency. For me, I like, especially with my script lettering, I like consistency how high
Yes.
things are.
That looks so easy
So
when you did it, but it's because you're following the grid, and then
yeah.
yeah, that's really
So,
neat.
and obviously I'm a clicker as well. I don't
Right,
want to put
yeah.
it out there. You know, I can't put a guarantee that your lettering is going to look great. Out of the box, there is a bit of practice needed, but
Uh-huh,
it will help. Having something there just helps with. I like a bit when you're doing like I know woodwork.
uh-huh.
You have a guide cutting you with a circular saw or something. Rather than trying to do it like freehand, it's not going
Yeah,
to end
yeah.
up perfectly straight. And so you use these guides just to help you to just get the end
Uh-huh.
result looking a bit better.
It is. It does look. It looks really good.
So I might actually put this above
Yep,
the
yep,
cards there.
yep.
Um,
That's what I was thinking too. And do you do the same to color it? Are we gonna color it the same way? Kind of
yeah,
just
so using that reference
reference? Yeah.
tip is really helpful for colouring. So what I do so we can see what's going on, I'll turn off that layer because we're happy with that. So new layer below, turn the reference on, and then let's go. My favourite colours at the moment. They always change. I
Yeah.
like this palette here, which is the sort of shades of orange and yellow,
Oh,
which I
nice. I
really
like
like.
orange.
Oh yes, your logo, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, there we
So,
go.
but I might make it into a gradient. So I might try get the
Ooh.
brighter yellow, and then just using the airbrushing thing, which is default in
Uh-huh.
Procreate.
You brush some yellow over it, inside of it,
Uh,
right? You kind of have to lock it down or
you can do
something.
it two ways, but I produce a new layer, and then I do a thing called clipping mask, which means anything I do on this layer, let's just
Uh-huh.
turn off reference from it. Anything I do on this layer will be locked to whatever the layer below is doing. So it's a bit like
Oh.
reference, but
Uh-huh.
it uh, you can work references just I find mainly for like filling
Okay.
objects with a color. This is you can
Huh.
do whatever you want, but it will just be locked to whatever.
Okay.
Um,
So you don't go
so
outside of it. Yeah.
no, so I can now go over the top, and it won't go out
Ooh,
of
that's really
the
cool.
orange color.
That's
So we've
very
got a bit of
retro.
a
Yeah.
gradients are in at the moment. I'm sure
Yeah.
that won't be the case for every, but and
I
then
like it.
uh, also with that, I'll get the mono brush as well and
Uh-huh.
white, and create a new layer, and then I'll just add.
Ooh, some highlights. Ooh,
Yeah,
nice. Oh, wow. Oh, you're getting
all I
fancy.
do, all I do is a dot
A
and
line and a dot.
line,
Dot and
and
line.
that's about
And
it.
that
Really,
gives it
just
some, yeah,
gives
shiny.
it some sort of
Yeah.
shininess. It's not much there, but and then I will give this a shadow, which I do by um, again selecting all the layers,
Uh-huh.
um, and then duplicating that group and
Oh,
flattening it.
right. Like we did last with the paper, with
So the same with
the
last one. Duplicate the
yeah.
group, tap on the thumbnail, select flatten,
Uh-huh.
produces a flattened version of the whole thing, and then going to hue, saturation, and brightness, and just turn the brightness down. Or you can color the layer manually, but I just do it that way for me. It feels quicker. And then I can
And then move
lower
it.
the opacity and then move
Oh,
it.
right.
And
Nice.
there we go.
Wow.
Just
We're halfway there. This is cool.
gives us gives us a quick shadow. So
Yeah, I like it.
uh, so
Even
that one's done. That was
that is the
like that didn't take too long. What was that 10 minutes,
no.
5 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Just to do, and that I think that's quite a that stands out even more than the one above it. So
Yes. I
um,
was thinking now this looks like a t-shirt already.
yeah,
Like this is
there you go.
this is awesome.
You could
Yeah.
just do elements, couldn't you?
Yeah.
To it. So that's that one.
Wow.
Let's move on
Building on
to.
top of each other. We're just building things. That's cool.
I'm going to get a black color for this, and this is going to use the rock and roller, which is the one I used at the top there
Okay.
to draw out the word fourth. This might be
All right. That's right. Fourth.
So
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, so cool. Because people ask me sometimes, like, what font did you use? But then if you make your own fonts, you don't have to worry about what font did you use. You
No,
just,
and yeah, you don't have to make sure you got the right license or
yeah.
anything, or
Yeah, that's true
um,
too. Yeah, because you made it yourself.
so I just tidy up just the way the
Okay.
brush works in Procreate. It sort of sometimes leaves a
Oh,
because
and so are
you
you just
draw.
using like a erase
Yeah, I'm
function
just
on?
using
Okay. Okay.
the eraser just to tighten up these. I'd
Nice.
spend a lot longer on these, but I just for the sake of this, I'm just doing a
Yeah. Yeah.
quick
It's a
tidy up,
quick version.
quick version, and then I turn off the grid because all these letters are all the same width, but the F
Yes.
is I find slightly smaller when I draw my Fs. So
Uh-huh.
first
You
thing I
gotta,
do is just correct the spacing. So
uh-huh.
I might want to
Move it.
move the O over slightly,
Okay.
um,
Nice.
and maybe the U as well.
Gotta get in there and kind of just select that one letter because they're all
Yeah,
together, right? Yeah.
they're all together on one layer at the moment.
Yeah.
That's about all right for now.
Yeah,
And
that
what
looks
I'll
great.
do is I want to make it so one letter goes up, one letter goes down, and make that.
Oh, okay. So you are gonna separate them,
Yeah.
or
So what I'm going to do is just select every other letter.
that's cool. That's a way to do
Uh,
not have to do it one at a time.
no, and then just drop those three letters down a bit.
Hey, wow, that's a cool trick.
Um, and I think that just works
Yeah.
if there's rhythm to it rather than it
Uh-huh.
just being random.
Uh-huh.
So that's really a rough word. But what I'm going to do, we're going to put that in like a cloud.
Oh,
Don't know
okay.
why. It
Why
will look
not?
okay in the end.
Yeah.
So would you a new draw? We will put a new layer in there and we're going to keep with the black because what we're going to use is the slipstream outline,
Okay.
which
I love that
is
you're using all the different brushes so you can show us how they
yeah,
work.
it's just a very versatile pack. I wanted
Yeah.
that. I love that sort of I look of just loads of different styles
Uh-huh.
all combined in one, and it looks coherent. And I
Yeah.
think they all match each other. And so
Yeah.
this one is just like does an outline. And what you can do with this is you could sort of
Oh,
make
yeah.
clouds,
Yeah. Look at
um,
that. Huh.
and then just fill it in like we've been doing.
Okay.
So
All right. Let's
um,
see what you come up with. This is cool. And you just kind of
uh,
connect it all, huh? Okay. And then you fill it in after.
yeah. So
Wow.
and then you can either go around like that, filling
Uh-huh.
it in so it hasn't got that bit otherwise, or you can just select that area and delete it.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so it's you can either use that as you're drawing, like you're doing some outline script, or you can make it into some
Wow.
sort of cloud looking thing.
Wow.
Um,
That came out really cool.
so yeah, it's just easy. Yeah, you can create other
Yeah.
shapes. I don't know what other shapes it could be, but it works well for the cloud.
Yes, it does.
And again, we're going to use reference
Oh, to
and
fill it in.
fill it in.
That came
Select.
out cool. Wow.
And then what I like to do is just grab the sloppy Joe taper, which is sort of a tapered either end,
Uh-huh.
and get the black. And then I sort of go around just doing some sort of like little sort of
Oh, okay.
squiggles.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
Give it some depth, dimension. Yeah.
yeah. Or extend some of these
Oh,
parts of the
nice.
cloud.
I see what you did. Yeah.
Just it makes the
So it's not so flat, right?
yeah.
You got a little bit more depth to it. Yeah, really cool. That
There we
worked
go.
out.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
a couple of sort of dots. There you go. And then the last thing we can do on this one is add another layer above the white one.
Mhm.
And again, click on it and select clipping mask because we don't want it to go outside the boundary of the white layer. And then a light blue, which will reduce the opacity. and the pinball one, which is like a half-tone dot, and then we can just
I was wondering about this one. I'm glad you're showing this brush.
You can just
nice. Ooh,
you know,
that's very comic booky.
Yeah, it just gives it I can make it a bit darker actually. Yeah, it just
that's
gives
really
it a
neat.
bit of roundness to it as well.
I like that because it looks like you took a long time. Like
a lot of times how long was that? It's hardly any time at all.
Right. To us that don't know what you did, like, oh, did he like stipple on this? How did he do this?
Yeah,
you just did the brush.
Well done. Well done for all your hard work. And it took me ages. It took me a really long time. And so that's
very cool.
That one. So we've done that one, and
just one more to
go. Go on to the word grade. So what I'm going to do with this one is it's actually going to be outlined, but we're going to start with the rock and roller again, just to get the shapes of the letter. So oops, need a new layer first. Oh, I need a black. That will help. Okay, a bit too much.
I almost forgot what word. We're doing grade, right? 4th grade.
Yeah, doing the word grade.
Nice. Wow. Very cool.
Well, there we go. Great. We don't have to tie these up this time, because what we're going to do is turn off the grid, and then we're going to use that as our reference to draw over. So just reduce the opacity.
Okay.
Get one of the monoline ones. So let's just get the Sloppy Joe mono. That's got a little bit less texture on it than the roughneck one. So just to sort of match the other stuff. And then we've got a new layer. We can then go over the top.
I see. So these are going to be hollow.
Yeah, but trying to draw those letters consistently, like 2 lines. So you're like drawing 2 letters really at the same time.
Right. Yeah.
It's really when hard. You're trying to draw, like, you might end up with it sort of looking like that.
Yeah.
So at least with this, you can use that as a guide.
As a guide. You got a guide to make another guide so that you can.
Yes.
2 guides.
And you think, oh, that's a bit, it's a lot of work, but it's not too bad.
Right.
It just helps to. Otherwise, you're there for ages going, oh, I need to fix that.
Oh, so nice. Yeah, now you can kind of tidy up the lines. If it went over or crooked, you can make it straight now.
Yeah, or like here, I'm going to just make the
line
up the legs, and then you make it a bit shorter.
Very cool. Nice. I love these different styles you're showing. So one kind of the full style. This is a different style than we saw before too.
Yeah. So this is. I'm going to make this 3D, and I'm going to give it like an inline look as well. I would spend a lot longer on that, but that's just. I just want to go through it quickly. Otherwise, as you can see, me just doing loads of. So I can turn that off, and we've got our word grade.
Wow, this is looking good.
I probably should have kept on the bottom line actually, because I can see that the A is slightly
right
on the wrong. Maybe just quickly correct that.
Okay, no worries.
So we're all lined up.
This is why we have the guides.
I'll never forgive myself for not having.
Get those in there. Boom. Yeah, you can see with the guides, it makes it so much better. Wow.
So we can connect those two
together. Ooh, nice.
Okay, so there we go. That's a bit better.
You did it, yeah.
The A could be a bit. I'll just sort out the top of it. It's a bit too big.
The R and That's cool. Well, see, this is why Procreate's so cool, because you can come back and like, oh, I didn't like it, fix it right there.
Fix it. There we go.
There you
go. I've got to correct my letters.
Which is cool. They can do it.
There we go. I do.
Yes.
Okay, so for this one, we are going to again sort of
3D. Didn't you say it's going to come
yeah,
out?
3D for this. I just make sure my lines are all connected because otherwise it will leak out everywhere.
Right.
New layer. I'm going to reference that again. I'm going to use this sort of mid orange yellow, and then just fill these letters.
Nice. Yeah,
and then actually, what I'm going to turn that off because what I'm going to do and turn reference off is duplicate that outline letter, and with the bottom one, I'm going to grab my arrow and then grab the transform tool, and I'm going to.
I see what you're doing. So is this going to help you make the 3D?
Yeah, so I'm going to reduce the size and push it up.
Oh, okay. And this is going to be a guide or something?
Yeah, so I just reduce that down, make a new layer.
Nice. Okay.
And then I'm just going to draw and connect up.
Look at
the other lines.
Wow.
Wherever they are. And so, yeah, so you're just using that ones at the back. You're only doing it where ones are going to be obvious. You could
where you can see it, right? Because you don't. If it's behind the letter, then you're not going to see it.
So you know this takes a little bit of practice as you're.
Yeah, I can see it.
Once you've drawn it out, because if I put it there and I know, oh, hang on, the letter's not going to be that thin,
right?
So that's not the right, but it should sort of be there. You can't see those ones because the A is right in the center. There's a bit of one there. It could make it a little bit thicker.
Right. Yeah. And then the D you can see
slightly
through, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, right there.
Again, it's sort of you're looking at
because there's a hole.
Yeah, so, but you know it's just going to be that area, or you look through it, you draw it, and you think, does that look right? Maybe.
Nice.
Draw the E.
Right. It's got to connect, and connect.
So we don't want to connect to there. So we know we need to connect to there, so we can either draw a straight line from there or just draw it from.
That makes sense.
Out.
Yeah.
So there to there.
Yes, I see it.
And then if we turn off the reference light, it should look roughly 3D there. So
yeah,
actually it roughly does. I think.
Really cool.
I missed it. Then I realised I've missed a bit because the R.
The R.
Very small at the bottom there. Yeah. However many times I check, there's always one. Oh, and there's another one on the R as well.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. You're just constantly turning it off, looking and going, right? Oh yeah, that works. That's missing a bit. So okay, so we got that, and then we got a layer which is coloured in.
Oh yeah, right. I forgot about that. Nice.
Actually, I might make that slightly lighter yellow. Just okay.
That's fun.
And then what I'm going to do is I'm create a new layer and select black. And then Sloppy Joe taper. I'm gonna have is one area of the 3D. So we draw a line through there. So I'm gonna have the bits that are hitting the top, which is going to be black.
Oh, okay.
So bits like that.
Okay. That's black. Okay. Yeah.
And the bits, let me just fill these in. I need to make sure that coloured layer is above that. So if I go over, I don't have to be too neat.
It's getting hidden. Nice.
Then I can just be really rough with my shapes.
Nice. Okay. The top, yeah, all the top ones, right?
All the top ones, whether it's inside the letter or above the letter.
Right. So the E's gonna have a bunch. Yeah.
Actually, with the E, I can go and just draw down there and then loop.
Oh, right, because it's behind.
Yeah, fill it. There you go. Oh, and then inside the A.
Right. Oh, you're right.
And then for the rest, I am going to first just fill with white.
Okay.
By referencing. Oops.
Do that reference thing again.
The reference thing again. They're saying that it was going to leak out everywhere because I've put it on multiple layers.
Fill it up. Yeah, right.
So let's just squeeze this all together. I think I'm squeezing together to flatten 3 layers because then I can use that as a reference.
Yeah.
And then normally I don't because sometimes might want to go and edit. And now I can do is just fill these areas.
Very nice. So that's a lot quicker.
Color.
I like the contrast.
But it's quite contrasty. So what I'm going to do is new layer and clipping mask again. And black. And then we're going to select the pinboard one, which is
again, yes, love that one.
And then we're going to create some. I'll make it a bit smaller. So
that's so
it brings down that contrast.
And
then
very nice.
Again,
and it matches what you did above, kind of that.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Oh, so I thought of that. No. And then last thing we'll do, or one of the last things we do, turn off the reference layer, create a new layer, and then we're going to use white and Sloppy Joe 1.0. Just make it.
I love the name Sloppy Joe.
Don't know where I came up with that. And then we're just going to draw a thin line.
Okay. Oh, in the middle. I see.
Yeah.
I like that. Kind of make it stand out a little.
It's a different effect from what we've been using.
Yeah, I like that you showed all these different effects that we could do. So many different styles. And it kind of matches that 4th grade look too, because we're going for more someone that's younger. So they might even draw like this in 4th grade on their sketchbook or something. So
good point. And then I'm just going to give it a shadow. So again, duplicate that whole group of the word grade. The bottom one, flatten, and just reduce all the brightness. So it's black. And reduce all the opacity. Shadow. And then what I'm going to do is lift it up, but it's going to be a little bit weird. And then we're just going to reduce it down.
Oh, another layer of, So they got a shadow too.
So the shadows are sort of coming towards. So there's no shadow on the 4th, but everything's sort of shadowing towards the center, I suppose.
Yes.
So that's there, and we're nearly finished. We can just do some. This is where it brings it down a bit because my illustration skills are not the greatest. We can, under all of it, can just produce some illustrations like we can in black. Maybe a pencil.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Look at that. Hand-drawn pencil. Very cool.
Or like a calculator.
Nice.
And like highlight. Are they called highlighters?
Yes. Oh, very good. Yeah.
And maybe just a ruler.
Okay. Yeah, so you're incorporating graphics for the topic, which is school.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's very rough, but then I can create a new layer, and I can maybe fill some stuff with orange. So
orange highlighter, huh?
I'll try to make that black in a minute. As that really can be white. A bit of the pencil can be yellow, yellow orange, and maybe the screen of the calculator can be
nice
orange, and then just another new group. We can fill in the rest.
Very cool. I like that this could also be a poster. I think this would be a really good poster too.
Or a card.
Or a card.
Yeah. Could give to actually I'm gonna make that.
Give to your teacher when you go to 4th grade, or your teacher could give to the students, I guess.
Yeah. So got that. I might also add some maybe little clouds that like
okay, kind of keeping the cloud. Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes I do these things and they don't look quite right or not.
Very
color
cool.
those white.
Yeah. I like this doodle sketch look because I think that's like creativity and
and I think it works well on a t-shirt, that sort of look as well.
And it's super original. Nobody's going to have this on their t-shirt because you made it from scratch. It's not like you took
definitely
something from somewhere else. So
and then I might just add some stars. Don't know why.
Where did you get stars from? Is that from your
that's
pack?
one of the brush. Yeah, it's a star.
Nice. So I don't even have to draw it.
No, or a paper plane. You might be in class and you could.
No way! You just have that as like a clipboard brush thing.
Oh yeah, I'd used it in loads of my work, and then I thought I'd just include that as a random.
Nice.
Because we could have the plane just down there.
They threw it.
Yeah, and color it in.
Wow.
Just quickly color that in, and then we can have.
Wow, that adds to it. That's really cool. That's a fun one.
And then
and you gave it some shadow there. Nice.
Yeah, and also some.
Oh yeah.
A little shadow, and then we can add a flight path to it by one which I called flight path. So we could just.
Oh, you have a brush for that. Nice.
So we'll put that to the bottom. And then
that's really cool.
That's a bit weird. And then just maybe some using one called breadcrumbs, which just makes dots which are varying sizes.
Oh, nice.
Just adds a bit more to it to bring it all together, and then I think.
Ta-da!
I think we're nearly done, but we'll maybe put hey, if I can find where that is. This is where I should name my layers. If you just bring that forwards, that's better. That looks better. There we go.
Okay, now so that is in front of it. Okay.
There we go. Ta-da! So I know I went quite quickly through that, but you obviously can watch this video back.
Yeah, watch it over. Watch it 100 times. That's what I think. You should watch this video at least 5 times. No, that's really cool. I love that you did everything in like a different style. So you not only did you put it all together and it works together, but you showed us like all the different brushes and all the different things to do with it's incredible what you did, how you put it all together while also showing us how to use the tools. So I love it. This is
so
great.
You could use just one of those styles for a whole thing, or it might inspire you to create some completely different styles, you know,
Yeah.
but you know, there you've got, you know how to make 3D, or you've got a brush that makes 3D for you, or you can
Right.
make a cloud now.
A
You know, you
cloud.
might have
That
had a
was so
massive ambition
simple.
to to
Yeah.
draw clouds.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and like, as you can see, my illustration is quite not the greatest, but you know, it works
But
with
it
that sort of hand
matches. It
drawn look.
matches everything because it matches like the airplane, the paper airplane. Your
Yeah. So,
drawings match
you know,
kind of match the air. So that's really cool. And they're really simple. Like what you showed, like I think anybody could take a pencil and kind of draw that pencil or the calculator because
yeah,
it
yeah,
was just
definitely,
lines
definitely.
and
Much better
yeah.
than, but yeah, you know,
No, it
and
matches
it's
though.
that, you know, just having that like gives context to what you're saying, you know,
Yeah.
because like, you know, like fourth grade, oh yeah, I know, oh I remember, yeah, or you had
Mm-hmm.
calculators and highlighters
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah.
And it just sort of links in with what you're saying. You know, if those
Yes.
illustrations weren't those and a car or something, you'd be like, well, why is that? They're not driving at that age, or you know,
Right.
so
Do your
it does
research
that.
and match.
Yeah,
Yeah.
does add. All I had to do was items that fourth graders have,
Yeah.
and it just gave me a long list, and I was like,
Yeah.
I'll pick that one, that one, that one, and just do. You know, that's not the best drawing of a calculator, but you know, people get it because of the context of the other
Yes.
things around it. So
Correct. Yeah. Let me see if I can just show it by itself. There it is, by itself. Or does it? No, yeah, that's how I do it by itself. I have this background, so but that's pretty cool. So yeah, I'm gonna bring it back to us again. Thanks so much, Ian.
that's all
This
right.
is
You're
this was
welcome.
incredible. Love that you showed us that. And last question in the interview is:
Yeah.
where can people find you? Where can people learn more about what you're doing?
Okay, so I'm on most of the social media channels.
Hmm.
You can find me on YouTube,
Hmm.
Ian Barnard.
Okay, I'll put the
I
link
need
for
to do.
sure.
I need to do. I'm very envious of your consistency of how many videos you've done, because
Thank you.
I've got a lot of YouTube shorts
Uh-huh.
recently, but I need to get more
Well, if you ever need to
long.
do another one, we can do this again in 5 months or whatever, and do
Sounds
another
good.
design, maybe for the new year or for Christmas or something like
Yeah, yeah,
that.
always good. It's always. I have it. I like it having a because I work for myself. I'm
Uh-huh.
rubbish at giving myself deadlines. So
Right.
having someone else give me what I need to do when I need to do it, boy, just helps my brain to get back into that creative mode. Yeah, so you can find me at Ian Barnard or at _ Ian Barnard. I think it's only
Okay.
yeah. There's a couple of places. Just search my name and you'll find me.
Yeah.
Or you can get Grid Letter Builder Freestyler brushes on ianbarnard.co,
Okay.
or on
Yeah,
my
I'll put the
Creative
both
Market.
right here.
Yeah, or Creative Market if you shop
Creative
on there.
Market. I'll make sure to put that as well. Okay, so we
Yeah,
got Creative Market,
um,
your website. You're on Twitter and YouTube, obviously.
yeah,
Yeah, I'll put all the links. All the links. Follow Ian. He has some great. If you love shorts, he got lots of shorts, and gonna do more YouTube. But I love all the, and you can learn more about his stuff on his website too, right?
yeah.
All the tools we talked about and that he showed. Thank you so much. This was so cool, and then
You're welcome.
it turned out great. Turned out great. I had no doubt that it was going to turn out great, but it
No
turned out
pressure.
great. Well, thanks so much, Ian.
You're
We'll
welcome.
hope to see you soon. And thanks for sharing this with my followers. And make sure to follow him. I'll put it in the description and watch this video over and over again so you can learn how to do it. All
Thank you
right.
so much, Peter.
We'll see you,
See you
Ian.
guys.
Bye.